Hey, so today I want to talk about Ang Lee's 2007 film Last Caution. This film stars Tang Wei and Tony Leung as the main characters, and there are other characters. And this film is predominantly, I believe, in Mandarin and Japanese. So it's basically a foreign film, but since Ang Lee is an American director with foreign origins, this film was distributed, I guess, heavily by Hollywood. So the kind of language and the barrier of it is a little shaky. This film actually got that year's Golden Lion, and this film has kind of always been on my radar, but I never got around to watch it, and so I finally watched it. Now, this film is interesting. It's almost 3 hours long, and this film is about, at a broad stroke, about some spies who are trying to infiltrate and kill a traitor, and it's set in during World War II when I guess Japanese have occupied China and Hong Kong. So during that time, this film is unconventional. It's definitely unconventional. The war is always a backdrop and ever present, but never at the forefront. And this tries to tell a very intimate story from a very different lens that you do not usually see in a lot of war films. So the title is also very suggestive. It is about lust and caution, and this film title is kind of a pun, so it has other meanings. Now, before I went into the film, I just want to talk about some of the aftermath of this film. The actress Tang Wei has actually been barred from, I guess, Chinese film industry because of some sexually explicit scenes, and I particularly found that's kind of, that's kind of sad, and this kind of censorship and treatment we do not usually see from these kind of massive films that stay around for this long, but this happened, and I don't know, it just stuck with me how women and actresses are treated in certain different part of region, and I think they are particularly very poorly represented in Asian film industry, and it's just one of the things that kind of stuck with me. Now, besides all the controversy and the political things aside, this film is, I would label, an epic, because I could watch this film in one day. I watched this film, in a two-day period and break, and I feel like I needed that break because this film has two different timelines and it plays in very different tones. So this tonal shift that happens is actually kind of essential, and that's why I feel like this makes it an epic. Now, this film is actually adapted from a novella by Eileen Chang. Her book is also called Lust and Caution, and that book also kind of faced the controversies, the same kind of controversies, political controversies with mainland China and Hong Kong and whatnot. So I wouldn't get into it. But the thing is, Ang Lee portrays this film majestically. This film is so good. This film tries to, load its characters into a thing, and at a certain point, you definitely understand who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. But things start to get very complicated, and this film is just so emotionally raw that it stays with you in a completely different way than any other war films or any other spy espionage films. This film for me is like what you would call a spy film that's for adults, or a spy film for mature films. If you take like Bond and Mission Impossible, those are blockbuster films and people would consider it goofy. This is what the other end of the spectrum, where spy film is at its serious. This and I guess Steven Spielberg's Munich. These are the type of film that encompasses it, and Ang Lee has just portrayed it beautifully. Tony Leung has done a really good job. He always does a good job, and he is actually the main villain of this story, and he portrays that character so well, because particularly Wong Kar-wai said, casting Tony Leung in A Mood for Love, that the character works, the movie works, the story works in The Mood for Love, because Tony Leung looks like him and he acts like him, and the personality he has. So when Ang Lee actually kind of totally reversed this character in her head, and to bring that out in Tony Leung, that says a lot. So in that way, the actors are really well casted, and they also acted really well. and this film has kind of also a haunting feeling about you connect with the film on an emotional and kind of psychological level. If you may not know about the political scenario, you may not have affinities with this character, or you may not even think about twice, but when you watch this film, there's an instant connection and that stays with you. So I give this film 5 out of 5, and I would call it a true masterpiece. I believe that if you like spy thrillers or kind of any kind of war films, or you want to see some complicated character work portrayed in a beautifully cinematography and done in a way that stays with you and this sort of has a vast landscape, this film is for you. You should definitely watch it.